Okay, hello, Ron the Rock. Okay, you can see the film for free right now on YouTube. Apologise, it's been a few days since I've done a video, but thought I'd better do this one. I've got a whole pile of videos to do. But there's a really big 4:9 reference in this film, and we're already 45 minutes into the film here. And so there's several little references to the idea of rebirth coming out of the dam. Kind of subtle, not really obvious stuff. We're not at a dam or anything, we're just on a chase. But we've got the usual stuff. The usual suspects are coming up in the chase scene, like this water truck that they're going to smash through here in a second. Obviously, the idea of breaking open the dam and water flowing everywhere. But it gets better than this, okay? So there's several little bits to this chase that's interesting. If you've not seen the film and you want to watch it, it's actually a pretty good film. Probably should go watch it before, because I will talk about the film just a little bit in here. I'm not going to really delve into the film really deeply, because there's a lot of different little bits of connections here and there. I just don't have time to do a massive video, and does anybody really want to sit through a hour long me waffling on about, oh, look at this here and look at that there? Just watch the film, probably be almost as quick. Anyway, we'll pick it up. They're going to bust through this. Obviously, water's going to go everywhere. Boom. There we go. There goes the water. Okay, and we can probably pick up on some of the numbers in the background here. 3700 Street or something underneath there. So that's interesting. But let's just bomb through this as quickly as we can. This is the next big sort of scene. Notice what Sean Connery is driving here. If you didn't know, Sean Connery's in the film. Okay, it's Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage, basically the two main characters. Okay, but here he's going to bust up the Virgin Mary colours here with the black pearl. So this thing's basically going through the town, destroying everything in its path. This black Humvee, the V, yeah, V for Vendetta. V is the valley where the dam exists, yeah. V is the womb that we are trapped in. We're trapped in the V. That's what we've got to get out of. Anyway, we might get away with playing a few little odds and sods of this. Look where we're coming here. 7th Street. And this is kind of interesting because the blue and white here is getting destroyed. Don't forget, at Hoover Dam, Lake Mead forms a blue and white, what they call the bathtub ring, okay, around Lake Mead. So you get the blue and white connection there as well. This thing's getting destroyed. Meanwhile, in just a second, Nicolas Cage is going to pop out here. This electric pole is going to fall down. It's got the double cross on it. So we've got the destruction of Mary here, the cross falling, the crucifix at the same time, and then we're going to have the rebirth of Nicolas Cage through this window here in just a second. Whew, quite a lot to get through, isn't it? There goes that thing falling down. Here you can just make out the top of the pole. Go through it a little bit quicker. No, that's kind of no. Nicolas Cage is going to come through. So Nicolas Cage is following along. He is in. So we've got Sean in the black Humvee, and Nicolas Cage is in, guess what? A yellow Ferrari. Okay, so we've got him as the son here to be reborn. Now let's back up just a little bit so we can see him going through there. Okay. Actually, let's back up quite a bit so we can see the inside here. Oh dear, Dan, come on, I'm not doing a very good job. Notice it does look a bit like water. Here's our glass window that he's going to come through. Notice that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 panels, the 4 pillars that are at the Hoover Dam. Notice that we've got the blue and the red on the other side of this sort of thing, and this is the window that, just as in Back to the Future, Griff's team busts through the the window, the metaphysical window there. Okay, this is what opening the dam is. You know, it's breaking open that metaphysical barrier back into the physical world. Yeah. Okay. So this is our first reference to breaking through the dam. Okay, they've come through. 285 is fairly interesting because we've got a date that's just been and gone. Let me show you. March 321. So 321 here. 285 days left in the year. Okay, the 80th day of the year. What's interesting about this is if we write the date the other way around, it's a 213 date. And 213 on the dollar bill, when we look at the dollar bill, 213, there's a number jump that takes us from 9/11 to 213, and if we reverse that number jump, it takes us to 49, the 9th of April that is coming up. So 213 is obviously, again, it's the start of Lucas numbers. It's a rebirth set of numbers. Okay, it's a starting over of a cycle. Yeah, just as 9/11, you could look at 9/11 as the start of a cycle as well, or you could look at it as the end and the start as well of the cycle. Because if we look at Fibonacci again, the end and the beginning of the Fibonacci cycle is 9/11, 9/1 or 9/11. Okay, so this is kind of interesting with this 285. Okay, so we've got a 321 final countdown and 213. You know, the start of Lucas numbers. And coincidentally, at the end of Lucas numbers, or at least at the 10th connotation of Lucas numbers, we're doing that countdown again. Okay, so if you total up all the way across the first 10 numbers of Lucas, okay, you're going to get to 321. Okay, 321. So 321 is an end, beginning and end, okay, with Lucas numbers. So it's an interesting number, this 285 that appears above the window there. Okay, let's get back to it. So that's fascinating. Okay, and we've also got this 7 reference here. Obviously 7 sevens are 49. Okay, we're not going to do all of the number plates that are in this film, but just as that scene just happened there, I think they might give another shot of it here in just a second. We might get a shot of the number plate. Yeah, so there's the pole down, and we can see the 49 here. Okay, and then of course, if we go through the number plate here, notice we've got 137 in there as well, which is Donald Trump's ear wound, and obviously 74 or 47 on the end of there, again, is well interested with Donald Trump. So this is all, it's kind of kind of interesting number plate with the numbers that are there. Okay, and this is the cross burning right here. Okay, let's crack on because we need to get to the good bit, and I want to get this done in under 10 minutes, which I'm probably already blowing that a little bit now. Sean is going to get a little bit distracted, and this is the driver of one of those trolley bus things that they have in San Francisco. If you don't know, the film is based, the rock that they're talking about here is they're referring to Alcatraz. Okay, Alcatraz Island, where there was a prison at once upon a time, and that is in the San Francisco Bay. Okay, so we have references to the Golden Gate Bridge, San Francisco, gold references again, with San Francisco, yada yada yada. But this dude will say something interesting at the end of this little sequence, and in fact halfway down the hill he does reference the baby, because we're dealing with rebirth here again. Okay, and the idea of the baby being born again. So the idea of the baby comes into this. So let's just whiz on. Let's crack on. Sean has to avoid that old granny that was in the road, and so hits the trolley bus, knocks it off the rails, and a bad word. Knocks it off the rails. People are jumping off. jumping for their lives, jump or die, and what we need to do is we need to get the front of that bloody trolley bus so we can see what the number on it is. Okay, let's see if we can, let's just back that up just a second so we can see the number on the front. I think we can make it out. 49, that's a bit blurry. Okay, 49, there it is. Okay, now watch this though, this is kind of interesting. Notice that this is the kind of proper trolley bus, and they have a kind of here comes Nicholas. He's going to try and get by this thing so he can catch up with Sean. Let's see. Now watch as he comes by, because this is interesting. Hang on, let's just tack it on. They've changed to another trolley bus here, one with pneumatic tyres. Whether they just rented this for the film, because I know they do have, I don't know in San Francisco where they have these kind of trolley buses, but I've seen them about in our local big town. Actually, I think they've got a couple of these. They've got at least one. But anyway, this is just a sort of look-alike vehicle that's on rubber tyres, basically. Notice that they haven't bothered for the film, a multi-million-dollar film probably, have not bothered to just print out a piece of paper to stick over the front of this with the number 49 on it or anything. A continuity error? What is it? I don't know. Or maybe they've deliberately got this number 1 on here, okay, as the Ferrari is passing it. So the 1 being born again, coming, you know, if you imagine this is the dam, this is the 1 being born out of the Matrix, or if you imagine that thing's the Matrix, whatever you want to imagine, but the 1 being born. So I think that's done deliberately. I don't think it's an error, or if it is, it's one of those Bob Ross errors. It's a happy accident. It's supposed to have happened. We're back to the 49 again here. Okay, this thing's oh, hang on a minute. Let's see what he says here. I think he might say something interesting. Oh no, save yourselves. Hang on. Down we go, down the hill. The out of control roller coaster down the hill. Nicolas Cage is in the Ferrari here, smashing through all these meters, busting open. Look at the money raining down, being destroyed. I don't know. The idea of the collapse of the economy here, maybe. Keep going. You'll notice as well, if you watch this back yourself, you'll notice this number plate on the back of the Ferrari here changes between this scene and the next part of this scene. Okay, the airbag goes off. For some reason he's going to try to shoot the airbag or something. This thing's going to come down, plow into this, and then blow up. Okay, and it launches, right? So let's crack on. There it is up in the air. Notice that there's a kind of I think something, why Californians started to make wine. It's the cheese. Okay, notice that the cheese kind of looks like a blood moon in this picture here, and you know, this block of cheese. I was going to say, so that is a moon reference anyway with cheese, and the wine reference with Jesus. Kind of interesting on the side of the trolley. Okay. Let's see, it's coming on down. Let's crack on through it a little bit here. Try not to play any of it. We're gonna crash. Oh god. Oh god. Yeah. It's a Ferrari 355 Spider. Okay, just so you know. And boom. Okay. There's some interesting stuff with the number plate, some interesting numbers in the gematria that come up. I'm not going to worry about it. I really just wanted to show um, just this main crash, basically. This thing sliding down the road, the 4.9, the destruction with the 4.9 reference, okay? Was there anything else in here that I wanted to show? It's really important. There's one other little nice little sort of subtle thing that is said at the end of this. Let's see if I can fast forward a little bit. I think it comes up just after this point. But actually, what I will do is let's just hang on. If we just watch this point here, it just reminded me a little bit of Terminator, actually, or something.
Hey, man.
Oh no, I've already gone by the part. Oh, well, I'm not going to worry about it. Fast forward. He's going to steal this motorbike here. This is what I want to play. Is this dude here, the trolley driver? Okay. So let's listen to what he's got to say. Let's see if I can. I'll just turn the volume up just a little bit here. Right, listen to this. Okay, did you get that? He says, "Damn, this sucks." Okay, the dam that sucks is the Hoover Dam. Okay, so this is a really nice little subtle bit of language used in the writing of this thing that maybe is referencing the Hoover Dam again with this 4.9. Okay, damn, this sucks. I can't write this stuff. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. If you've seen the film before, you will know that obviously, Alcatraz, this reference to being in the Matrix, stuck in the prison, which is the Matrix, and basically they've got to break into the prison to, well, I don't know, free us from that threat of the hostile takeover, because they're dealing with a terrorist situation on Alcatraz. Okay, so they've got to break in there to free everybody, to save everybody. Okay. Notice that they have to go in through the sort of tunnel work, through the sort of sewer systemy type area. The sort of, they come up through in the waterworks, if you like, which is again interesting with the whole idea of the plumbing and all those references back to the plumbing with the Hoover Dam. And the other thing that's interesting about the film, this is the last thing and then I'll be done, is that Sean Connery's character is locked up. The reason why they've got Sean Connery, so this is a spoiler, is because he's the only one that's escaped from Alcatraz before. Okay, he's playing an ex-spy. Obviously, this connection back with James Bond, maybe, but the reason why he's locked up is because he stole secrets from J. Edgar Hoover, or there was a reference to J. Edgar Hoover with the secrets that he stole. All the sort of dirt that J. Edgar Hoover had on people is the microfilm that he stole. Okay, so the connection is, the reason why Sean was locked up is because of Hoover, basically. Okay, so you have this reference back to Hoover again. Okay, gonna leave it there. I've got another video I want to show you some more 4.9 stuff in, and then I'll be half caught up with videos. But it's already late now. I'll get this one out. Maybe I'll do the other one tomorrow night. Okay, thanks for watching. The Rock, not Dwayne, but obviously the amount of connections to this now with other little. There's tons of little references in this film to other stuff that I've talked about before. The lead up to this whole scene. Okay, a guy nearly gets his arm pulled off. Okay, so again we've seen that with the arm falling off in the Lady Gaga 911 video, and then we have the reference to Alcatraz, I believe, in the Lady Gaga 911 video with the ankle bracelet and the Golden Gate Bridge reference there. I mean, it's just I'm around in circles with the references, but you know, there we go. There's another 4-9. You know, maybe. Well, anyway, I'm gonna leave it. Maybe 4-9 will be as prominent as 9/11 if we, you know, when you start looking for the numbers, they do start popping up for you. You know, so I don't know. Anyway, right, thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye bye.